Welcome to the Invite Health podcast, where our degreed healthcare professionals are excited to offer you the most important health and wellness information you need to make informed choices about your health. You can learn more about the products discussed in each of these episodes and all that Invite Health has to offer at www.invitehealth.com/podcast. First-time customers can use promo code podcast at checkout for an additional 15% off your first purchase. Let's get started.
Welcome to part 2 of our episode, 10 factors that affect your immune system. In part 1, we covered 4 factors, but they're major factors. Your microbiome, which collectively is all the bacteria, viruses, and yeasts that live with you. We also covered sleep cycles, very important for your immune system. We covered nutrients found in foods, and we covered cortisol levels. So welcome to part 2 of our episode, 10 Factors That Affect the Immune System. My name's Jerry Hickey. I'm a nutritional pharmacist. I'm also the senior scientific officer over here at Invite Health. Thanks for tuning into today's podcast episode. You can find all of our episodes for free wherever you listen, or by visiting invitehealth.com/podcast. Please subscribe and please leave us a review. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Invite Health. The information on this episode is linked at the episode description, so let's get going. What is factor number 5? Well, supplement intake. Most people get some level of benefit from a multivitamin. For instance, you get B vitamins. B vitamins have been shown to help mitigate the effects of inhaled pollution from cars, trucks, and buses, etc., on your immune system and on generalized central inflammation. You know, you breathe in the fumes from the trucks, buses, and the boilers that heat up the water in all these big buildings, and it causes a chronic low-grade inflammation throughout your body, and B vitamins have been shown to help prevent that. So that's good for your immune system because you don't want your immune system misbehaving and leading to inflammation. So taking a multivitamin helps in that way. Plus, your immune system requires a certain level of vitamin E, a certain level of vitamin A, so beta-carotene is converted by the liver and kidneys into vitamin A. You require a certain amount of zinc. You require B vitamins. You require some selenium. They're all needed for the immune system, so is the mineral magnesium, and you get those from a multivitamin. And they've shown that even people with a great diet, there was a study from the UK several years ago. These were all professionals. They had a good diet, they exercised, they lived in a good place with clean air, and even with a good diet, they weren't getting sufficient levels of all the different 8 B vitamins. So when they gave them a B complex, their brain actually became a little bit more attentive, a little bit more efficient, a little bit more active. So virtually everybody gets some level of benefit from a It becomes especially important in elderly people. Elderly people are missing many nutrients. We actually did a podcast episode on that. Nutrients that you require as you grow older. They absorb zinc poorly from their food. They're generally lacking 3 or 4 B vitamins like vitamin B12. So we make sure in our multivitamins we put in methylcobalamin, which is already an active form of B12, but it converts to all the other forms that we humans need. They generally lack folic acid, well, folate really. So we put in the active form methyl tetrahydrofolate for older people, so we know they're getting it, and we know it helps protect them, and it helps their immune system function properly. Older people generally lack vitamin B6, so that's in there. So you need a good multivitamin at many levels for your immune system. The next thing to consider is phytonutrients, the nutrients that you can find in plants and foods. For instance, resveratrol is found a little bit in peanuts, but they're going bad. They're getting moldy. So that's not a great place to get it. Resveratrol you get a little bit in the skin of red wine. You get a little bit in red wines from places like Spain and Italy and Napa Valley. Of course, it's available in a supplement. They get it from, usually in a supplement, they get it from Polygonum cuspidatum, which is Japanese knotweed. They grow that in the United States now, and they get resveratrol out of it. Resveratrol works on several levels with the immune system. One, it helps contain inflammation, especially in the heart and the lungs and the brain. If you have an infection, the infection can inflame these organs. Plus, the immune system can have a backlash against the infection and inflame these even more. That's what was happening with people with COVID-19 when they had those cytokine storms. So resveratrol is a natural anti-inflammatory that works in the human brain, in human lungs, in the human heart. But it also works, of course, throughout your whole vascular system, your whole circulatory system, but also in your thyroid and your adrenal glands because it's a very tiny molecule. But resveratrol has alkylamines. On the outside of viruses, there are alkylamines that kind of tell the immune system, hey, we're here, attack us. So when you take resveratrol, it's kind of like you're prepping the immune system to be aware that there could be viruses out there. It's an important finding. Now, beyond phytonutrients, there's one very special phytonutrient. It's called beta-glucan. And there's different types of beta-glucan. Like there's a beta-glucan in whole grains, like in oatmeal. That's different. That's for lowering your cholesterol. The beta-glucan we're talking about now, you get a little bit in mushrooms, you get a little bit in yeast, but you get the most from an algae. It's kind of a lime green algae, a yellowish greenish algae called Euglena gracilis. This beta-glucan is called beta-1,3-glucan. And what it does, it activates different parts of the immune system to attack and kill viruses, bacteria, and cancer cells. So that would actually be our seventh thing that affects your immune system because they've been studying beta-glucan, beta-1,3-glucan, for decades. And it absolutely improves the ability of the immune system to track down and kill a virus. So beta-glucan, right up there. That's the number one supplement if you want to activate your immune system. So what else affects your immune system? Too much alcohol. One drink, like one glass of wine or one beer or one shot of scotch, doesn't seem to really affect the immune system. But if you have 2 or 3 alcoholic drinks, they suppress your immune system strongly for about 6 hours. So for about 6 hours after you have 2 or 3 drinks, it's a lot easier for you to contract a cold or the flu or COVID-19 or any infection. So during cold and flu season, COVID-19 season, whatever time, whenever it is some kind of virus around, don't overdo the alcohol. Sugary drinks. Believe it or not, when you have a sugary drink like fruit juices are loaded with sugar. So I tell people when you have a fruit juice, dilute it with something. A cola, a can of cola soda, any sugary soda. All that sugar strongly suppresses the immune system for hours, something like a 48% reduction in immune system function for about 4 hours. Alcohol suppresses the immune system by about 60% for about 6 hours. Sugar suppresses it by about 40% for about 4 hours. So you want to stay away from the sugary foods. They are connected to diabetes, of course, weight gain. They're connected to poor brain function and poor brain health. They're connected to an increased risk of several cancers and accelerated aging. So you don't want those sugary drinks anyway. They're also connected, by the way, to poor skin. The last thing I want to talk about for your immune system is exercise. Some exercise is great for the immune system, like taking several walks every day. Great for the immune system. But when you do intense exercise, it actually suppresses the immune system for about 6 hours after. So when you run or when you lift a lot of weights, anything more than enough strongly suppresses the immune system for about 6 hours. Your antibody levels drop. The antibodies in your mouth and your nose and the tear ducts of your eyes, by your skin, down in the urinary tract, down by a man's prostate, in the digestive tract. And immune cells decline, and they're less effective. You've seen this in our Olympic teams. Like in the Olympic team when they're training, it's a lot easier for them to get sick. A lot more elite athletes get colds or develop the flu than people who don't even exercise and sit on the couch and eat taco chips all day, couch potatoes. So over-exercising does suppress the immune system. You have to be careful with it. for about 6 hours after, because you're releasing a lot of stress hormones. The body's overstressed, the muscles are a little bit inflamed or a little bit damaged. You're releasing a massive amount of cortisol and other stress hormones, and that pushes down on the immune system. So how can you help prevent that? There are 2 supplements that have been shown to help prevent that from happening. One is called nucleotides and nucleosides. Nucleotides actually make us, but they also create energy, something called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Most of your energy in your body is contained as magnesium ATP, almost all your energy. And when you take the nucleotides, you create energy. It's energy for energy itself, if you need some extra energy, because you're working a lot. It's energy for healing. So I frequently give this to people when they're going for surgery. I give them nucleotides with the amino acid L-arginine and a small amount of fish oils. And depending on the surgery, I might add glutamine or zinc. It depends on the surgery. So nucleotides have been shown to help prevent a drop in immune system function after exercise. Nucleotides give energy to the immune system. Your immune system needs a lot of energy. Like if somebody sneezes on you, there's millions of little particles of viruses entering you. So your immune cells have to multiply very rapidly to meet the demand so they could kill all those virus particles. That requires energy, and nucleotides is kind of like a source of energy for the immune system. A second supplement that helps offset a drop in immunity with exercise is a good probiotic, like Lactobacillus plantarum, Lactobacillus rhamnosus, Lactobacillus acidophilus, Bifidobacterium animalis, subspecies lactis. There's others, but those are the major ones. They've been shown to stabilize the immune system in people who do extreme exercise. Like they've studied probiotics in the Irish national rugby team, in the New Zealand national rugby team, and in all sorts of elite athletes. And they show that the certain strains of probiotics, not every strain, certain species, certain strains, they help prevent the immune system from declining after exercise, but they also help prevent athletes from becoming nauseous, and that's interesting. You always have some bad bacteria that increase inflammation, and you have some good bacteria in your intestines that help prevent inflammation and digest your food, etc. The bad bacteria in the intestines release toxins that inflame your intestines. This happens more frequently when you're doing intense sweaty exercise and you become nauseous. When you take probiotics, it offsets that effect and prevents the endotoxins released by these bacteria from inflaming your intestines and making you nauseous and sick. So not only do the probiotics help maintain your immune system function with intense exercise, but they also help prevent you from getting nauseous with intense exercise. So just to review what I covered, the bacteria that live with you, you call it your microbiome. You want good bacteria living with you, which is through diet, fermented foods, and sometimes a probiotic supplement. Sleep cycle, you want a consistent sleep cycle so that your immune system works better the next day. At night it sleeps, next day it's supposed to wake up. If you have a consistent sleep cycle, it knows when to wake up. And that's in the daytime when you're in with other people. Nutrients from food, such as mushrooms and green tea and curcumin, turmeric. Cortisol levels, stress hormone levels. Supplement intake like a multivitamin. Phytonutrients from foods like resveratrol, the alkylamines. Specifically, number 7 was beta-glucan, beta-1,3 glucan that comes from an algae called gracilis, Euglena gracilis. Not too much alcohol. Skip the sugary drinks, and if you're going to really do intense exercise, you need either nucleotides or probiotics to protect your immune system, or both. So thank you for listening to today's episode, today's Invite Health episode. You can find all of our episodes for free wherever you listen to podcasts, or just visit invitehealth.com/podcast. Please make sure you subscribe. Please leave us a review. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Invite Health. Hope to see you next time in another episode of the Invite Health podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good day.